Hello, welcome to my channel. I thought today we'd continue on with my Delta slow speed dedicated tabbing machine. I'm working, if you saw my last video, I'm working on my spindle. I decided instead of trying to get this chuck off, you know, there's always the chance that none of this works and I might want to change it back into a drill press. This will be ready. But I started making a new spindle. All of that works. The pulley goes on there, spins, everything goes on. The quill goes on to the spindle. The next thing I need to do to this thing is put a cross drive pin in there. I think everybody has seen blow-ups of this pin that's right in here. I was trying to figure out what it was. The more I read about this, I found out that what that is a drive dog, like a drive pin. In the quill, the spindle bearings, there's slots. I don't know if you can see those. There's slots in those. That's the inner race. From what I understand, Delta in the early days wanted to make sure that that inner race was spinning on both sides. I guess because they had polished or ground this shaft down so it can slide right in to the quill when they were assembling it, they decided to put pins, something to drive that inner race, from what I understand. On the bottom, where the chuck is, they have the pin. And on the top, they have this part. It has like two drive dogs that go into, which is the top. This is the top. It goes into, there's slots in this inner race also. I don't know if you remember when I was taking it apart, it was moving up and back, and I thought maybe that was part of the function. What it was this drive dog, drive collar that gets set screwed onto the spindle had moved. There was a flat on the spindle. You really can't see it anymore, but when I cleaned it up, it went away. But this thing was moving. The drive collar, I'm going to call it. So what I need to do today is put the drive pins in my spindle. I guess it would work without it, but like Delta, who really knows if that's going to spin with this polished down to where it slides in. I determined that the slots, the drive slots on here, they're 189, 191. That's like 3/16. I found a 3/16 hardened pin. Let's see, the outside of this is 753. That's 3/4. This pin is 3/4 long. So all I need to do is find the center of this spindle rod and put this pin in. Where does it go? If this pin was 1/8 of an inch either way, I don't believe it would matter. I just took my tape measure, put that over here, and it looks like 13 3/4. And we're going to go with that number. I'll put a little mark on this. In fact, I already did put a little mark. It's hard to see, but... And I'll go into the mill, which is still set up with my Spindex. I'll make sure this thing is sitting straight in my vise. You don't want it dragging down here and the pin comes out crooked. That wouldn't be good. So what I'm going to do is go over to the mill and drill and ream a hole for my 3/16 pin. I believe it's a number 16 drill. Yes, a number 16 drill. That is 10 thousandths under 3/16. It's 177 thousandths. I also found in my collection a solid carbide reamer. It's a 1/2 thousandth, 5/10 under the size of the pin, which will give me an interference fit of 5/10, 5 to 7/10. A dowel pin is usually about 2/10, 1 to 2/10 over nominal. I found a carbide spotting drill that it looks like the center was relieved, so it has a center cutting. But I also found a single flute spotting drill, center cutting. So I think I'm going to go with the 1/4 inch single flute over in the mill. Okay, before I do any of that, I've got some channel news. I've got some new stickers, and these stickers are from someone most everybody in hobby machining knows. And these stickers came all the way from the United Kingdom, Scotland, from Nigel at Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. I've been waiting for this for a while. It cost a bit of money to get something from overseas all the way over here. It was airmailed. Nigel had this airmailed to me. And he also has a round one. Let's go over to the board and put this on there. Okay, Nigel, we're going to put your stickers right here. I think that's a good spot for it. Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. Nigel joined YouTube in 2018. 2018 is what his YouTube channel said when you click on more or about. I think it's more. There's a little bit of information there. But Nigel's into mostly building steam engines. One of the things he built that I really was fascinated with was a die filer. He built it from scratch, the whole filing machine. It was a fantastic series. I think he had like 25 parts to that. But every part was just as interesting as the one before it. But let's hang up this here, small one, right under it. Okay, Nigel, there's your sticker. Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. And here again is just a small sticker that says Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. The steam engine he built. You need to go to his channel. It is fantastic, some of the things that he builds. You need to go to his channel. There are so many things. I think he has over 150 videos with some really nice close-up shots, and I could watch this man work all day. The craftsmanship he shows. But here's his sticker, and thank you, Nigel, for sending that to me. Okay, Nigel, I hope you like the position on my board. I'm honored to have your sticker on my board. And I think we should get back to my project. Let's get over to the mill. Like I said, this is still set up. The center of this is still set up from when I put these slots in here. So I know I'm on center. What I don't know, because everything is hanging out so far now, is if this thing is sagging. Before I was only sticking out 10 inches. One of the things it looked like is, I don't think it was timed with these slots, but they were in line. It must have been they cut these slots and then drilled that hole in production. It would make sense. But what I don't know is if it's sagging. So what I was going to do is just put this. Of course, I don't know if this is flat, but I'm basically just twisting this up and back. And I was just going to check with my surface gauge. I tightened up the 5C collet, and it kind of brought everything. See, that's plus 1,000. That's like plus 1,000. I think that's going to be good. Like I said, I was still centered from when I put these slots in here. I was calling them drive dog slots, because that's what they're doing. They're the pulleys are driving this spindle with little like dogs. They're not keyways or keys. I'm not sure what you would call them. But I'm going to start out with a single flute 1/4 inch and see how that cuts. I have my little red dot there. And I'm just going to drill 10 thousandths under and then ream with the solid carbide reamer, which is 5/10 under nominal, 5/10 press fit. I've got the RPM set at 1,000 RPMs. Hopefully that's what I need. If you remember from the last video, I was running this thing way too slow for that size cutter, 156. And I broke 2 of them. But I think that'll be okay for reaming. Okay. That looks like it's centered up just fine. I'm going to stay with 1,000 RPMs. It should be okay. a nice clean hole. Like I said, I drilled 10 thousandths under. It was 177 thousandths drill bit. This is 187 reamer, which means it is a half a thousandths, 5/10 under the size of that pin. All right, I slowed that RPMs down to 800 RPMs. Let's do this. All right, let's get this thing out of here, go over by the table, and see how well that pin fits. Let's do that. This looks like a nice clean hole. I'm going to take this carbide 2-flute spotting drill and just clean it up, especially on the side that the drill came out of. Let's see if I can tap this pin in here. That is a beautiful fit. It's 5/10 press fit. 5 to 7, because a dowel pin is usually 2/10 over nominal. And if this reamer cut it 5/10 under nominal, it would be 7/10. Look at that fit. That is beautiful. And what that does is it guarantees that that inner race spins and it don't just wear away the spindle. And this one goes on the other side and locks in, and it also drives the inner race of that bearing like it does on here. What has to happen next? This needs to be cut off at the right size, right length. I'm thinking about turning down the diameter of this. It looks like it was turned down on a lathe once before. Not sure how I would do that. But I might put it in the lathe and grab it here somehow. Hold it with my steady rest. Put a center in here and turn it down. But what would be next? This is the way it was when looking at this pin and that pin. This comes to the end, same place. Looks like I got it pretty close. So I'm probably going to have to cut it off if I don't break everything. Cut it off about here. Maybe an inch under here. Cut some of this off an inch. So I'll have a 2-inch collar on there, pinned in 2 places to drive this. See, and I thought making my own was a lot better than ruining this, because I don't know if any of my ideas are going to work. Mike, Dr. Slinger. Before I go, there's one other thing going on my sticker board that I want to show people. Mike, Dr. Slinger, has sent a new sticker. What's your caliber? He makes bullet jewelry. He's in Montana. He also had a bigger sticker made. This was his older one, a small heart that says Dubez Designs. That's his wife makes jewelry. They had a bigger sticker made. So Mike here is going to end up taking up this whole end of the board. That's okay. I might give him his own board. Nigel, we got your sticker up on the board. I hope you like the position of it. But I think this video is coming to an end. So I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.